Hi, blessings. My name is Melissa. I wanted to discuss a topic that many people are bringing up as far as Ascension symptoms go, and that's heart palpitations. And many people find it frightening, and there's just an anxiety. There's this pressure, there's a lot of congestion. And these heart palpitations, as humans, we automatically think there's something wrong. That we're going to have a heart attack, we're having a panic attack, etc., etc. I'm wanting to shed some light on this subject, that it is a natural occurring symptom within this ascension process. Of course, it's always good to go and get checked out. Make sure, there really isn't something wrong. A lot of times we can, put out of our mind that it's just an ascension symptom and there's actually something wrong. So, if you feel it's something that's really bothering you, go get checked out. But if you know it's an ascension symptom, I would like to explain more about that symptom, why it does, what it is doing, how it's helping you evolve, how your DNA is changing. I've been following, I've had this has been happening for several years now. Pretty much ever since I began my ascension process. You hear a lot about, love and light and love, walking the path of love, becoming more heart-based, being in your heart, all that jazz. And it's actually literal. It's the one thing in this ascension cycle that you can say is literal and not always metaphorical or spiritual. As we ascend, our bodies are changing, our DNA is reconfiguring and activating, upgrading, and we're changing our carbon-based physical structure to a crystalline type structure. And crystalline, that means like technically you are crystallizing. Your molecular structure is designed like a crystal. You're not that heavy, dense, carbon-based entity as you were as a human. And for those that do work with crystals and understand their formations and their structures, you get that. So if you can look at yourself as a crystal body, not a dense carbon body, and in order to transition and transform, our DNA needs to be activated. Our DNA needs to change. Our body needs to change. We need to purge. We need to release the density. We need to transmute the energy that we've been holding in these physical vessels so that we can become more light. So with the heart, you hear of the heart awakening. And people just think it is about love. It's always about love. But it's actually a physical, literal thing. And the more that you awaken, the higher awareness and consciousness that you go, your heart is transforming. Me personally, from my experience, the heart is one of the most important chakras, if not more than the third eye. I see the heart as a vortex for energy. And you can look back, the ancients spoke about it, the chamber of the heart. It's the womb. And when you can connect to that space, it gives you that breath, that life force that is imbued in everything that is the universe. You connect to source. It is said that it's always through the crown. But for me personally, I see that we connect through the heart. That's our home. That's our home space. That's where your source is in your heart. That's the chamber. And we need to go deeply into that chamber, underneath all the muck, all the debris, all the conditioning, all the lifetimes, everything. And we need to excavate that gem, that heart gem. So going back to the palpitations, a lot of people follow the Schumann resonance, and they know what the Schumann is and how it works and how it affects. And that's Gaia's heart, okay? So just like us, she is ascending as well. Her heartbeat resonates at 8 hertz. As she continues to recalibrate and reach back her equilibrium state, which is 8 hertz, you're going to have rises and falls, spikes. The energy spikes that she goes through, we will experience too, because we are ascending. Many are being affected by that spike. Many are very quick to say, oh, it's the Schumann. Oh, it's the Schumann. Oh, it's the Schumann. This is why I feel this way. This is why, yes, to some extent. But when you come from a space, the law of one, that all is one, that you are one within the all is me, I am all, you are Gaia. Gaia is you. The universe is you. So it only makes sense, her spikes, you will feel within your own body. It may not happen simultaneously. Some people may feel when there's a shift on the earth. Absolutely. But you have to look at it from your internal. This is yours. You are pulling the divine source. You are pulling the light. You are being given gifts of light all the time and asked to embody it, to hold it. But in order to hold light, this physical vessel needs to purge. It needs to transmute all the density that we've been carrying. And many are experiencing the extremes of these symptoms, and they feel like shit. They feel they just can't do anything. It's because your body is so dense. And the more that you can receive light, transmute it, integrate it, and release, it takes those lower vibrational frequencies out of your body. And you become a pure, clear channel. It's a purification process. And it's a process. It's never going to end. You don't reach a state, one state of being. You are many states of being all the time, and you're constantly shifting in between all those states. So the way that I see when I personally receive a charge, a heart charge, that's light coming into my body, and it's activating my heart. And once you activate your higher heart, which is your thalamus, which is in between your throat chakra and your regular heart chakra, and when you can align those, you've now created a vortex for energy. So when that energy comes in and you feel the palpitations, sit with it, acknowledge it, breathe it, become it, allow it to do what it needs to do. Because if you can look at it as this alchemical fire, it's burning away, just like your kundalini, but it's burning away, decalcifying the heart space, all those layers of conditioning, all those traumas, all that pain, and we've corroded around the heart, and that needs to be burned away, and light does that. So that energy comes in and you feel the palpitations because your heart wants to regulate, it wants to beat, it wants to be free. And it doesn't last forever. It's just a little short cycle burst of energy. And you are electromagnetic. You are a conduit for energy. So you can either sit and suffer and fear and go into this panic, which then your nervous system overrides the actual light that's trying to cleanse your heart space. You feel into it. You breathe, feel the energy, and you can actually then shift and move that energy from your heart space. So if you think of like an electrical charge, you're being charged. Now that energy needs somewhere to go. And many of us, because we go into fear and worry and anxiety, we hold that charge in our body. And that's what causes a lot of illness and sickness. Learning to flow and move with that energy. Breathe and hold that space. And hold it with love. And I allow it to bubble up. I can feel it start to bubble. And then I allow it to shift into my throat as I hold these deep breaths. And then I blow it out. I blow it out. And you can feel the energy rise up and move out of you. It's transmutation. It's beautiful. Sometimes you can take the energy from the throat and bring it all the way up and out your crown. You've transmuted it into pure energy, into spiritual energy. What do they call it in some traditions? Ojas? And that's the thing. So when these charges come, you can either sit and suffer and just wait for it to be over, or you can be a conscious creator and you can work with the energy. You can move it through your body. You can move it up or you can ground it. Whatever you choose. But you are in control because you are the conduit. You are the vessel. And the divine is constantly nurturing and filling our cups and filling our vessels with this light in order to purify, to cleanse the density so that we can embody our light bodies in physical form. the more that you can cleanse here and decalcify back to its purest form, it's where you return home. Heart, home. Home is where the heart is. It's your source. Many have beliefs that it's your solar plexus, and that's okay. Again, they all work together. I'm just speaking from my personal experience and my perspective and what I've been shown from my higher self and my guides. And I work with that, and I follow my heart all the time and what it shows me. And I allow the energy to always move through my heart. I come out of the mind. I don't let it settle in my root, But I allow it. I see the heart as like it's a transducer. It has the ability to generate a force that when these charges come, I can breathe it, I can project it out from the chest. I can project it out and allow it to radiate my environment. And it's magical. And that's working with your own energy and working with the light. We have that ability with all of these solar storms, the Schumann resonance, the planets, retrogrades, whatever it is, energy's energy, and you are a conduit. And every moment we're given a choice as to how we will respond and work with that energy. We have a choice as to, do we fall into old behaviors and patterns and go into fight or flight mode? Or do we say, you know what? I'm going to take advantage of this situation and I'm going to feel into it. I'm going to feel what it feels like when I'm united with that energy. And that energy will begin to work with you. And then you express it in love, in compassion, and you radiate and emanate that love into the universe. The more light that we receive from these solar storms and sunbursts and Schumann spikes, you don't need to suffer. You don't need to be in pain. If you are in extreme pain and suffering, there is still a part of you that's resisting letting go of the density, whatever that density represents for you. Whether that's a physical place, person, thing, job, behavior, pattern, you're attached and you're still holding that in you. And the light's just trying to cleanse and illuminate and push it out to become light. I feel it's unfortunate to see so many people struggle and be in pain in this ascension process, because it's actually very beautiful and amazing and magical. And the experiences are so otherworldly. But yeah, I just have to learn to let go and flow and allow. So, yeah, just went on a little tangent. But I just wanted to share, my experience and how I perceive the heart space. And, science is starting to really come up as far as research and prove how powerful the heart really is. It has a stronger electromagnetic force than the brain does. It's not saying override your brain, your mind. It's balancing the two. But trusting the heart really is the driving force. And leading from the heart, sitting in the heart, it's a space, it's a womb, excuse me, that you can always be comforted. It's your home. Whenever you are in a state of distress or you don't know what to do, return home. And that's all Spirit wants you to do. Come back to self. Come back and go within. Go within to that space and allow the universe to show you and guide you. And trust that, because reaching outward only distorts the truth of your authenticity, your truth, your being. And a lot of we're being asked, you need to go here and sit in that and become intimate with your source, with your God, your spirit, your higher self, whatever phrase you want to call it. But what you're seeking is not out there, it's here. And the only way you can find those answers and connect to that source is through the heart. So, thank you to anyone who sat through this. I wish you all much love, much light, and many blessings on your journeys forward. Bye.